I'm reviewing, right? So, okay, let's get into it. So, on this episode, Chrisean and BlueFace are in the kitchen. It starts off with them in their kitchen of their home. And, he's complimenting her, saying, oh, you look good. And, yada, yada, yada. And Rock did look nice. Rock did look nice. I don't know, something about her being fully dressed is actually a compliment. So, not a compliment. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Something about her being fully dressed compliments her. It makes her look really good. So she had on all her clothes. She was fully dressed and she looked, really girly. Her top was like a little frilly kinda. She had some jeans or some shoes. She looked good, right? So he was complimenting her, saying she looked good. He was rolling up his reefer, yada, yada, yada. A conversation came up about Chrisean, about them having some conversation with BlueFace's family. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about what I heard happened between Chrisean Rock and BlueFace's family. What I will say is this: you guys should make sure that you go and Google that and check it out, because I know apparently there was some sort of scuffle between BlueFace's mom, BlueFace's sister, and Chrisean Rock. And it's kind of similar to what took place between BlueFace and Chrisean Rock's dad and brother, so it's the same type of situation. What it seems like, it just seems like it jumped off. So the conversation comes up, and again, I have details on it because I watched the interview with Chrisean's mom on Tasha K's podcast, and I mean, we'll get more into that. If you have the opportunity, go check out the podcast. Go check out Tasha K's interview. Mom's name is, hold on, I'm going to tell you guys. Mom's name is, I'm sorry, hold on, you guys. I think it's like Larissa or Clarissa or something like that is mom's name. Carlisa. Mom's name is Carlisa. So if you guys have the opportunity, go check out BlueFace's mom, Carlisa, and Tasha K's interview. I watched the whole thing. That was actually a couple of months ago I watched it. And it was a good interview. I have my own perspective on that. And as a matter of fact, I may go review that interview and share it here in this playlist as well, to talk about mom. So anyway, that situation comes up and you can kind of see Chrisean is like, okay, well, why are we talking about this? And he was like, well, my family wants to meet up. We're going to go meet up with them, yada, 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 yada. So they start discussing what took place. And in the process of them discussing what took place, you can see that there's some confusion about how Chrisean got involved in it, what made it jump off, what Chrisean did versus what BlueFace did, yada, 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 yada. So the way Chrisean was explaining her version, she claims that it initially started that she was defending BlueFace against the mom, saying like, why are you speaking to your mom so disrespectfully? That's not nice, yada, yada, yada. And while cursing BlueFace out, according to Chrisean, the mom, including her, and started throwing things at her, like physical objects at her. And, it just went left from there. And BlueFace and Chrisean, and BlueFace feels like his mom and his sister was disrespectful. Right? But during the process of him sharing all of that, he kind of came across very nonchalant, which is something that he could do. So when he did that, Chrisean kind of peeped it, because like I told you guys, in my opinion, Chrisean is close to her family. So things that have anything to do with them, she does foster a lot of emotions about it because she has good relationships with them. But anyway, when she seen BlueFace being nonchalant about it, she was like, wow, nigga, like you move like a robot. That's what she said to him. So, I mean, he didn't give that much energy. And she said, well, I'm going to start moving like a robot too. And when I do, I'm going to kill all of y'all. I'm going to kill everybody, including you. So he looked at her and he was like, did you just admit to possibly killing me on national TV? He said, but either way, not if I kill you first. So I was looking like, okay. So anyway, fast forward to the meetup, because that's where they were getting ready to go. That's why Chrisean was like dressed up and so on and so forth, right? So they arranged, I don't know who arranged this meeting. I want to say BlueFace arranged it, but I'm not sure. The reason why I want to say that is because I think that one of them alluded to the fact that, oh, you wanted to come here. That was your choice. And also some of BlueFace behaviors led me to believe he set it up because he was looking for a resolution. So anyway, when they got there, it was BlueFace and Chrisean. They arrived there, and they arrived to what is apparently Blue's restaurant. It's a seafood and soul food spot called Blues. I was like, okay, wow. I was thinking that it might not be open, but then I thought about it. I said, no, it's probably not open for business that day because they're filming there that day because of the meetup. So I don't know if it's technically open for business or not. It just wasn't that day because, okay, the filming crew is there trying to meet up. But I was like, wow. To be honest, I can't really say that I'm shocked because when I watched Carlissa's interview with Tasha K, she did say something about opening a restaurant for him or with him or something of that sort, right? So, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. So I said, oh, okay, now I remember, ding, 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 right? So they're there first, and they just sitting around kind of prepping themselves and getting themselves together. And then Blueface's mom, Blueface's sister, and Blueface's brother shows up. I had never seen a sister and a brother before, but I definitely heard a lot about them from Mom in her interview with Tasha K. And pretty much seemed like what the mom described, right? So when they came in the door, the sister set it off. What I will say is the family didn't enter the room with the resolution energy. Now, in all fairness to them, I won't necessarily say they entered the room like we gonna kill somebody up in here. But at the same token, they kind of entered the room with an energy that suggested this could possibly go left. Not I'm trying to make it go left, but if it do, it is what it is, up and it's stuck. The brother had on like a face mask. He seemed kind of jittery and movie, but he was pretty good for the most part. Anyway, they came in. Soon as they got in there, the sister jumped it off. And she, what did the sister say? No, I'm lying. The brother started off, and he was like, so what's up with his sister getting a fair fight? Because apparently Chrisean and the sister ended up fighting after Chrisean and the mom fought at the prior incident that took place, which is what they're meeting about. So, and from their version, this is something I didn't know, apparently when the sister did show up to fight Chrisean for fighting her mom, the sister got jumped. And according to the sister and the brother, she got jumped by females and males, which I was like, wow, that's a lot because at the end of the day, Blueface, that's your sister. So even if you did want to prevent her from beating up Chrisean because she's your girlfriend and you don't want them having any interaction, what about all those other folks that you allegedly allowed to assault her? Like, that wasn't cool, right? So I could see they was like riled up from there, right? And then the argument jumped off from there. The family is upset. The family is definitely upset. They are upset because they are looking at Blueface like, at the end of the day, somebody put their hands on mommy. Like, somebody put their actual hands on mommy. And for you not to have any feeling about that happening, that presents a problem for us. And you can see it presents a problem for the sister and her brother, and they are not letting up on that. Like, the brother kept going at Chrisean. Like, he wanted Chrisean and the sister to fight, and like, when you want to do it, and it could go down right now, and it could be a one-on-one, and oh, now it ain't gonna go down like I went down last time. My sister gonna rock you, she gonna knock you, you think you could beat her. Like, the brother was not letting up on Chrisean, which was annoying Chrisean because she felt like, why are you talking to me? You being a weird ass nigga. You know how does she talk? And he's like, nah, because what y'all did the last time was some BS. The sister is not letting up off of Blueface. So all of her commentary, all the brother's commentary is directed to Chrisean. All of the sister's commentary is directed to Blueface. The mom is just relatively calm at this point. The mom is just relatively calm. She's not really saying too much. She's just letting them go back and forth about, she deserves a fair fight. What happened last time wasn't right. Blueface, you wrong. Yada, 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 right? So, Chrisean is avoiding the conversation of having a fight with the sister, with the brother. Like every time he goes there, she's like, what are you talking about? And I just defended myself. And she wasn't trying to say anything that would allude to the fact that she also wanted to another round with the sister. But in all fairness to her, the sister wasn't saying anything that would allude to the fact that she wanted another round with Chrisean either. Like I said, most of the sister commentary was designated for BlueFace. So I felt like, in a sense, I don't think Chrisean did want to fight, but I also felt like Chrisean didn't have a reason to, because it's a man telling her to fight somebody else. That somebody else is not telling her, I want to fight you. So she was on some like, shut up, just be quiet, you talk too much, yada, 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 right? So now, every now and again, it would get kind of heated and yada, yada, yada. And the funny part for me is Zeus's security. You know, every time it would get heated, they would like get in position. And I see when the show comes on, it gives you the name of a security company. So I know it's not Zeus's security per se. It's a security company that they use. But for whatever reason, the security company, in my opinion, wasn't securing enough for me. Like, and again, nothing happened at that moment that they had to dive in on, but they just didn't give me like bodyguardish vibes. I was like looking at them like, if people really want to get sturdy, what y'all gonna do? So in any event, it got my wheels are turning, and I started thinking about starting my own celebrity security company, Bossy's Bodyguards. I'm going to talk to my brother Pooh Bear about this. Another business in the making. Stay tuned. Don't steal my idea. But in any event, I was cracking up at the security guards because, again, they was doing what they do, right? After the back and forth, because like I said, it was more so BlueFace's sister. I think her name is Janice, and I think BlueFace's name is John. I don't know what's the older brother name, but I think everybody was like John and Janice, and I don't know where that came from because the mama love name is Carlissa. But anywho, they all was arguing, the mother was quiet, so finally they let the mother speak. They gave her the opportunity to say, let me get some stuff out, because, you know, she wants to kind of say her part and provide some calm peace so this can go a different direction, right? So when she started talking, she was explaining that she was having a conversation with her son when the situation took place, and BlueFace jumped in the conversation. And she was like, you know, she should have just minded her business. And then she asked BlueFace, you know, were you aware that she was going to go to that level after she got in the conversation? And he was like, well, basically, I didn't think that she was going to go there per se. He was like, but how hot and heavy you was talking, I thought you were prepared for her to go there, right? And she was like, well, you know, I was talking to you, so why should I expect her to do anything? And he was like, I don't really think that. I think you were talking to me and about her as well. And what I did see that I didn't like, but I did like, as a double-edged sword, was that when the mother got up to speak, Chrisean like excused herself and went on to the side and was talking to some other people that was there. And these people looked like they were the same people lingering around Chrisean and BlueFace house before they went there. So I guess that's their friends or whatever. They had their faces blurred out. I felt that was like a tad bit disrespectful, because a part of me felt like you just got up and walked away when the mother started speaking because you didn't give a fuck about what she had to say, which is because I think you don't give a fuck about the mother, because you feel like she turned on you when that incident happened. But a part of me was kind of happy that she walked away, because then she provided BlueFace and his family to have some dialogue. And that's what I feel should have been happening from the beginning. All of this bring her along, and she's not there for any form of resolution. She's not there for any form of resolution, and she also doesn't add anything positive to the situation, because you're going to see throughout the episode, every time her and the mom have to have any type of interaction, it goes left because the mom has her perspective, and I think Chrisean does not give a flying fuck about the mom. So because of that, anytime that perspective is linked to a situation, it's a trigger for Chrisean, and it goes left. And I think the argument from everybody is, no matter how much this woman triggers you, she is the man that you're dating and sleeping with and you possibly see a future with, mother. So what you need to do is kind of humble yourself and not be fighting down with the mother or disrespecting her. But I don't think, again, Chrisean gives a damn about the mother, but I also think neither does BlueFace, in a sense, right? So that's where that comes from. Anyway, when they started talking, it looks like, because again, Chrisean had kind of went off to the side. It looks like when they started talking, something happened with BlueFace and the mom that I see happen with BlueFace and Rock as well. So I'm inclined to believe it BlueFace has to take the onus of this situation, right? I noticed that with mom, which is, like I said again, what he does with Chrisean, something happened, right? And when it happens and we're now rehashing the story, he's very much aware of what the other person does. And because that's the case, he only wants to harp on what the other person does because he feels like we would never have escalated to where we went if you had not done X, Y, and Z. Which, again, that could be 100% correct. I'm not denying that. But if you are trying to find a resolution in a situation that involves another person, you have to speak on the way you triggered the situation, the way you escalated the situation, and what you're going to do to resolve that so that does not happen the next time. But if you always rehash a story or a situation and you always tell them what the other person did do and what they don't need to do, and what that doesn't help because the other person gets on the defense and now they're talking about what you did. And for him, like I said, I see this with Chrisean too, it's almost like that's not what happened. He's always combative with the woman to say, like, what you're saying is not the truth. And the mother's like, yes, it is. And just as well as Chrisean be like, yes, it is. But I think that if we scale down and talk about the truth, we would have to talk about you being a part of the problem, and you always want to make it seem like you're not a part of the problem. So I got that, this is what I believe happened, if I'm being honest. I believe that Carlissa was at BlueFace's house. Now, in the end, you'll get what was going on that led up to her being there, but I'll just tell you from now while they're at this family meeting with Chrisean. BlueFace was the mother showed up at BlueFace and Chrisean house. They walked in with a dog or some dogs or two dogs or another dog to add to their dog collection, however that went. The mother was over the dogs. She was over Chrisean, and which in turn made her over BlueFace. So she started beefing with BlueFace about, you coming back here with another dog. I can't take this, yada, yada, yada. Which she explained some of this on the Tasha K interview. And then Chrisean was... I guess BlueFace started popping junk back, and Chrisean is like saying to the mom, like, don't disrespect your mom, yada, yada, yada. But another thing that I think that happened was, I think in the process, and I don't know how Chrisean missed this, but according to BlueFace, in the process of them arguing, not only was she speaking about the dog, she was speaking about Chrisean too. So I don't know, were you speaking about the dog and Chrisean? Were you speaking about Chrisean and calling her a dog? Like, I don't know. But however, when Chrisean approached BlueFace and said, don't talk to your mom like that, yada, 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 he was like, you taking of her, she's talking about you. I didn't get where and when that happened. So I don't know if that was another manipulative tactic on BlueFace's part to get Chrisean on his side, because he didn't say what she said about her. What he said was that she was complaining about the dogs and them coming in with another dog and yada, yada, yada. But what I can say is, if I'm not mistaken, I think when Mom was on the Tasha K interview, she talked about how they're not really that clean. So maybe in the process of her complaining about the dog, she started complaining about him and Chrisean being not that clean, but he was the only one arguing at the moment. And when he saw that Chrisean was trying to take up for, he was like, listen, well, she's talking about you too. So apparently when she realized, well, not when she realized, because she didn't hear anything the mom said about her, when BlueFace told her that the mom was talking about her, she turned on the mother. And they started arguing. And then the mother started talking back to BlueFace, arguing with him and calls him a bitch ass nigga and all of that. Then she started talking about Chrisean too, and saying Chrisean's mom was on crack and all this type of stuff, right? And then Chrisean, it went left. It went left from there. Chrisean dived on her. And no, I'm lying. After she started calling her mother crackers, they started arguing, and the mother started throwing things. I think they said first she threw a Gatorade bottle, and then the second time she threw a jar. And those two things were both aimed at Chrisean. And I think once she did that, Chrisean said, okay, girl, it's up and it's stuck, and dived on her. According to her, she didn't know that Chrisean was gonna dive on her. So, and she kind of felt like she got snuck from the side when she was debating with BlueFace. But my only concern is once you started launching things, you should have been prepared for a physical altercation because you're being physical. But that is what BlueFace was trying to say, which is why he was trying to justify why he allowed Chrisean to dive on his mother. Again, do I believe that the mom was being immature and disrespectful by launching things at Chrisean? 100%. But I just don't live in a world where I would dive on anybody's mother, and especially not anybody's mom who I'm trying to have a relationship with. But like I said, we are in different times. And I heard a story one time about people I know personally where somebody's baby mother gave their mother a black eye. And I was mortified to even hear it because I don't know in what world do we condone that. But on the other hand, what world do we condone a grown-ass woman launching things at a young girl like that? So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right? I mean, it depends on your stance on it. Me personally, I don't even create the energy for people's family members to get physical with me. I just don't create that space. And if I feel like a person doesn't understand that that space has not been created and they want to overstep their bounds, I have to immediately remove myself because it's not fair to me to be in a situation where somebody is physically putting their hands on me and I have to kind of be okay with it because I like you and that's your family. So, I think the onus goes on BlueFace to step in and safeguard his mother and his girlfriend and make sure that this does not go left. But I think that BlueFace is concerned with who is bringing him the coins in at the moment, which would be ding, 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 Chrisean Rock. So if she says it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. What can we do? And I think his justification for letting it be up and stuck is that you initiated and ignited that situation. So that went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then what ended up happening is, it got calm. It got calm. They went back and forth. It got calm. And then BlueFace said, you know what? I'm going to offer an apology. Because like I said, I think he's the one that initiated this meeting. And he said, I'm going to offer an apology because I do want this to be over. So he apologized to all three of them. He apologized to his brother, which at one point they were about to fight. That was so corny, though. He apologized to his mother and he apologized to his sister. The apology was not as satisfactory enough for the mother because she still was looking like, boy, go to hell. And I think the reason why she felt that way, she said it, and I felt her on that before she even said it, which was, as you're apologizing, you have the person who actually committed this act sitting behind you, rubbing your neck and smirking, like what she did was okay. Yeah, you're apologizing, but what about her? What about her? So I think the mother kind of felt like this apology is BS, but she said it. She was like, and then you got somebody sitting behind you, smirking and thinking this is a game, and being weird and yada, yada, yada. Chrisean was high as a kite because she had been smoking the whole time that the family was there. My nose is itching. I don't got no allergies. She had been smoking the whole time they were there, so she just giggled at the mom and left that one alone. But I felt the mother. It was like, this is a game to y'all. This is a game to y'all. And this is not a game to us. We are your family and we love you and we're not happy about the way this whole thing is going. And I respected that because I feel like, BlueFace and his family to some degree were close. I could tell by the interactions because when things calmed down, the sister said really nice things about him, the brother said really nice things about him, the mother said really nice things to him, and he did offer an apology. So I think they are close, and I don't want to put the onus on Chrisean being the one to come and break the family up because I think it was a disconnect from even when she had her interview on the Tasha K show. I could see some things Ben wasn't right, but I do feel like she's a contributing factor in keeping it separate. And I know me personally, I am incredibly close to my family. I am not allowing anyone to be in my life, friend, lover, coworker, or anybody else, and they try to come between, or they not only come between, but they also, try to push a separation between me and my family. Nah. No. And in turn, I don't do that for friends or my boyfriend or my colleague. When I hear you going through something with your family, the first thing I say is fix it. Now, again, you can get to a place where you fix it in a sense that you kind of navigate how you deal with them in order for it to be fixed in a sense. But I'm not a fan of family separating. That's just me, right? So, they had a good conversation. BlueFace was able to hug it out with the family. The mom went even went over and hugged on Chrisean. Now, the only thing I would say about that is, number one, I respect the sister because sister is not for play. I like the sister. The sister is not for play. I like her stance on things. Her stance is, listen, I know people go through stuff. I know that you guys are up and coming. You're getting your money. Chrisean, I know you're a young girl and, you don't know my mom well. So there can and will be issues, regarding this situation. I get it. But her stance is also, no matter how much I get and try to understand y'all, I can never condone or be okay with the disrespect of my mother. And I am 3,000% on board with that. So I felt the sister, right? So when the mom got up and she hugged Chrisean, as well, Chrisean was looking like, but she hugged her. And what I liked about sister ain't moved. She just sat there. And she didn't sit there with the face like F Chrisean, but I think she felt like, I'm not ready to open that door yet because it doesn't seem as though she's even apologetic. So if I open the door to me being apologetic first, she's going to think that this behavior is okay. And it's not. And it's not. It's not. So they hugged and, they left. And okay. So the next day they decided, what is going on? My nose is not even running. Is it allergies or something? What's the problem? So anywho, the next day they decided to get up and do one-on-one meetings, which I personally thought they should have did that from the beginning. I think the family and BlueFace should have met. I think BlueFace should have went home and explained to Chrisean where they were regarding their meeting, and also explained to Chrisean what boundaries were going to be put up regarding his family and her, and also get feedback from Chrisean to see if she can adhere to those boundaries. Because it's one thing to say, oh, the boundaries you putting up is you better not never put your hands on my mom again. And she said, well, she better not put her hands on me. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. And again, granted, I'm not at all giving mom a pass to put her hands on Chrisean, not one bit. But I'm going to have that conversation with her. Right now, I'm having it with you. So she has to be clear on the boundaries. She has to respect the boundaries, and she has to adhere to the boundaries. And if she can't, BlueFace, you got to roll. But I think with BlueFace, I'm not rolling anywhere because this girl is making me money and I got to take care of my kids and do what I got to do. So it is what it is. So anyway, when they go to meet up one-on-one, it's only the mom and the daughter, and then it's Chrisean and BlueFace. So they end up going, Chrisean and the daughter, they go have a separate conversation, and BlueFace and the mom go have a conversation, right? And number one, me watching the mom's interview on Tasha K kind of has me a little biased to give my feedback about this episode, because there are some things that I already feel about mom from the Tasha K interview that interfere with what I feel about what she shared and what went on in this episode. And I only say that because if I only knew information from this isolated incident on the show, then I'm almost sure that my perspective would be different. But then again, I don't know, because I'm just good at making assessments. And when people say things, I don't just take it for face value. I kind of think a little deeper, a little longer, a little harder to see if there could be a gray area where you're trying to paint it as black and white. And what I see with this situation with BlueFace and his mom in particular is it comes down to respect. It comes down to respect. It comes down to, I'm your mother, and I'm telling you that these are the things that I want done, the things that you need to do, or the things that need to happen. And you are going all the way against that. And I feel disrespected because this is what I'm saying I want done, and I'm your mother, right? And I think the other part of it is you think it's okay for you to disrespect your mother because you have money. And I'm telling you, I'm not having that, right? Like I said, listening to her interview on the Tasha K show, what I will say is I don't think that BlueFace's disdain or disrespect or nonchalance or, kind of or any issue he may present towards his mom is solely because I'm rich now. No, I think some things were done from childhood, and I think he may have some feelings regarding those things towards her. And I think, when he gets the opportunity, because he's grown now and he's out on his own and he's taking care of himself, then he does feel the comfort to say and do certain things. But it's not solely based on because you no longer take care of me financially and I don't live with you. No, I think it's some other things there. And the reason why I said that is because he was trying to say to her, she was trying to say to him, oh, you have to do what I say, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, well, your behaviors. Okay. What she said was that certain things that took place within the household that she was staying in with them, she just felt was disrespectful, like with the girls and yada, yada, yada. His behaviors just as a person is disrespectful towards their mother. And he was like, well, I could bring up some time that you have said and done disrespectful things in front of your parents. I don't want to get into detail, which kind of lets me know he has respect for her, because I think he was saying we're on a national TV show and I don't want to air all our dirty laundry out, so I'm going to keep this one to myself. But you and I both know you have exhibited some behaviors in front of your own parents that were questionable. And now when I'm exhibiting the same ones, I'm the worst person in the world. How is that fair? And at that point, she didn't argue. She didn't debate. You know what she turned around and said? So that's the excuse you're going to use for doing the things that you do. And I'm looking at her saying, no, that's the excuse you're going to use for negating the fact that you do things as well. And I want to kind of, I want to give FYI and PSA, right? Because I try to stay away from parenting conversations. I do my best to stay away from. I don't care how many friends I have that are parents. I don't care how many years I have worked with with children. I try my best to stay away from parenting conversations because it is a situation that I feel like would be much better. Okay, hold on. It's a situation that I feel like would be much better, judged or spoken about or intervened on if you are actually experiencing it. So for me, I said, okay, you come to me complaining about your kid. I would kind of say things if there's like a safety issue, but other than that, how you choose to parent is on you. I don't get involved in that. What I don't allow is for folks to complain or expect some form of special treatment after they are receiving what comes with their form of parenting, right? So let's just say, I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's just say you're a parent that you feel like beating your kids is what you need to do, right? Sometimes when you are physical with a young person, it kind of makes them have this disdain towards you. They don't really like you as a parent. So if you come around to me and you're saying to me, you're boohoo crying and you want to make Johnny be your bestie and he acts like he doesn't want to be bothered, and the reason why is because I beat his ass and I think he should be okay with me beating his ass because I'm his mother and we should still be besties, I don't really want to hear that. Because if that was working, you wouldn't be here telling me this. So clearly that's not working. You have to pick a side. Either you're going to be the parent to beat his ass and not care if he don't like you, or either you're going to have to kind of calm down on whipping his ass and try to be more of his friend and communicate. Like, you have to pick a side if you want a specific result. So I don't allow parents to come around to me and complain about the choices that they're making. I don't allow anyone to do that. Anyway, what the hell was my train of thought at this point? She was saying, Anyway, she was basically saying that in any event, no matter what I did in front of my parents, that doesn't justify what you're doing. And to some degree, yes, it does. Yes, it does. But, she couldn't see that. She could not see that. And it became a back and forth, even down to the point where he started telling her, you're just not my type of woman. Like, it went left, but it went left respectfully. That's the one thing I can't say. Like, He wasn't yelling and screaming and cursing. He wasn't acting like a kook. He just was basically expressing to her, like, what I'm going to do is what is going to happen. If you don't like that, you don't have to be around that. I understand and I respect that, but it's going to continue. And her point was like, no, I don't like that. And he was like, okay. That's why you live wherever you live and do whatever you do. And I don't complain about that. I'm not welcoming any of your complaints or concerns or questions or anything else you have to say about what I have going on in my life. So, I could see in that moment that she was disappointed in the way the conversation was going, because I think for her, I'm telling you what you need to do and what you don't need to do, and you should listen because I'm your mother. Again, that's not working. What I can say about BlueFace is he did something that got on my nerves so bad, and I think he's very guilty of it, and I talked about it a little bit earlier. For him, he does not want to take accountability. He does not want to take accountability. Now, apparently, the sister must have been going through something, and she needed some help, and he said he had some resources for her, so he invited her over to come down so he could help her. The mom and her showed up. They realized they didn't want to stay in his home, so they were going to go stay somewhere else. What I didn't get clarity about is they were supposed to go stay somewhere else, but he had the keys and he didn't give her the keys, or maybe he did give the keys. That's what they were debating about, right? She was saying you didn't do your part. That's why it didn't go well. He was saying, yes, I did, yada, yada, yada. In any event, he was giving them some money. And I guess in the process of him giving them the money, they're debating. So he took the money and he threw it at her. And what she was saying was that you throwing the money, again, welcome the disrespect. And that's why we had an issue. And he's saying, well, you telling me that you're a grown woman and I have to respect you, so you shouldn't need my money in the first place. BlueFace, 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 blue fucking face, okay? Stop. Because what he was trying to say was, if you are so grown, you didn't need my money, so therefore I would never have to throw it at you in the first place. Let's take off the table that she's your mother, and let's take off the table that she's grown. Let's just say she's a toddler that you don't even know. I don't give a damn who it is. You do not throw anything at anybody. That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. So don't try to put on her, oh, she's an adult, she shouldn't need your money, oh, you're my mother, you should have your own money. All of that is null and void. All of that is null and void. The reason why the situation escalated even further is because you threw the money. And throwing the money is flat out disrespectful. But I think for you, again, it's very easy for you to tiptoe around things because you're a manipulator. So because I don't want to own up to my part, I'm going to find the one wrong. Within my 99 wrongs, I'm going to find your one wrong, and I'm going to harp on that one wrong and use that as an excuse for me being 99% wrong. BlueFace, go to hell with that. Go to hell with that. Because that was BS. That was BS right there. You throwing the money at this woman, whether you were related to her or not, whether she was a grown woman or not, you throwing money at anybody is disrespectful, and then expecting them to pick it up off the floor. What the hell is that? What is that? But again, you're such a manipulator that instead of you trying to own up and say, you know what, Mom, I was wrong about that, you still try to make her believe that this was all her fault. And that's why it escalated to you throwing the money. No. And what I see is you do that with Chrisean, and Chrisean is not sharp enough to go toe-to-toe with you, so she ends up becoming submissive and just saying you got it and just sucking your dick and just letting it be over because she don't want to beef with you, because she knows you're going to uphold this manipulation because you know you can beat her in that area. And with the mom, her fear is that you're just not going to be bothered with her, and she wants to be bothered with her son, so instead of going back and forth with you, it's just like, okay, John. Oh, no. BlueFace, I'm here to tell you, you and I, our energy would have never connected, because that manipulation tactic, I can see right through it, and I'll be holding your feet to the fire and your ass to the flame every time. So you wouldn't even like me. I can't stand this bitch. Not as a friend, not as a family, but no. And that is why you and the sister and you and the brother was going back and forth, because you were trying to like manipulate them into thinking that, oh, mommy is something else, so her getting her ass beat was warranted. They know mommy is something else. They kept saying mommy was something else. But on top of her being something else, nothing warrants you allowing mommy to get her ass beat. Now, if mommy got her ass beat in the street, and she came home and tell a story, we might laugh about it saying, Ma, you do pop a lot of junk, so we knew that was coming. But to stand around and allow somebody that's dating you and sucking your dick and who you know you got control over because you're manipulating to beat mommy ass, but that was the mother point. You ignited that fire. So he pissed me off with that one. He pissed me off with that one. And it goes back to what I've been saying since maybe like the second or third episode. He is a manipulator. He is a manipulator. And if it's allowed, it will continue. Right? So anyway, they were having that conversation over there. And remember, the sister and Chrisean was having their own conversation. And I really liked the sister. Because what she was giving was genuine dialogue. She was saying to her, like, basically, you violated. Let me make that clear. But at the same time, that happened. That's the past. I want to move forward. I just want to let you know that I'm not going to ever be okay with you violating to that extent. But I do know that my mom is a piece of work, and I will partner with you to show you how to like maneuver around her. And the sister and Chrisean was having some really, really good dialogue. Really, really good dialogue. I like that, because the sister, she was very open-minded, even with the mom. When they were sitting having the meeting, all of them together at Blue's restaurant, when she said to the mom, like after BlueFace apologized, she was like, so now what are you going to apologize about? Like, so she's open-minded. I like that. I really, really like that. So, swing back to BlueFace and the mom. Again, it was just like, it is what it is. The end result is he was sharing with his mother that she's not his type of woman and she is a manipulator. And I was looking at BlueFace like, and so the fuck are you? So peace in a pod. Okay. I guess she is trying to beat her character traits out of her child, because if you're saying she's a manipulator, then she's the queen and you're the prince, because you are exactly the same. And that's probably where some of her resentment comes from, is that she knows you're just like her. Who knows? So anyway, they kind of walked off from each other. It was over, and mom went and joined Chrisean and the sister. Again, Chrisean can't take the mother. Chrisean cannot take the mother. And the mother is trying to parent Chrisean the way she parents her own kids. And I think she needs to understand that Chrisean is not her kid. So the things that her children may be inclined to let slide or go with, Chrisean does not feel like she has to give her that grace. And because of that, as soon as the mother approached, the conversation went left. And see, I kind of could go with BlueFace in saying that the mom is a manipulator because she ignited the fire, and once the sister started it up and started blazing because she went with the mom, then the mom was like, but no, why are we talking about this? Why are we hashing this? What is going on? Yeah, because you came over here and got this back going. Like, go back in there where you were. But in any event, so it kind of almost went left, but it was real back in. But at that point, Chrisean was over it because she was looking like, how did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. Like, so she was just like, okay, she's just sitting there and she's trying to ask questions and yada, yada, yada. The mother and Chrisean is just looking like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of here. And ding, 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 ding. Here come my boy Rock to save the day. He was like, hey, it's been nice. Chrisean, let's roll. And they got up out of there. And, this episode really, 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 really put a lot of insight on the conversations about what is happening with this new generation, and for me personally, I'm going to get a space to start back doing Healing Hearts mixes, because what I see with this next generation is going to be the demise of all of us. Because when we have come to a point where it is okay for folks to allow their parents or the elders in their family or any family members of theirs to be disrespected by an outsider because they want to gain some form of monetary gain, that should never be okay. That should never be okay. And on the other side of it, an elder in someone's family should never feel it's okay to put their hands on someone that's not blood related to them and that's at least 20, 30 years their junior. What are we doing here? What are we doing? So these are conversations that need to be had, because Chrisean and BlueFace's whole family and Chrisean's whole family is pretty much what I'm actually seeing take place out in the real world. This is not just on reality TV, and this cannot continue. This cannot continue. The stage cannot be set for folks to feel it's okay to just disrespect any and everybody. And what other folks cannot do is think it's okay to allow that or do that because there's money involved. I'm sorry. No. So for me, the moment that me and my mom got into it and my girl intervened is the day that she and I would have broke up. Whatever me and my mother was going to do after me and her getting into it, hey, that would have been what it was. But you and I won't be together. Because if it's my mother today, it's my sister tomorrow. If it's my sister tomorrow, it's my grandmother on Tuesday. If it's my grandmother on Tuesday, it's my aunt on Wednesday. If it's not my aunt on Wednesday, it's all 5 and 6 of my cousins on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now you fighting my whole family? Are you crazy? And the same goes for Blue. No. It's intolerable. So no. These are conversations that and again, I work with young people. I have to start fostering these conversations because then you have to remember these same young people are going into work environments, schools, and everywhere else thinking it's okay to disrespect their elders because it's happening right here in their home. Go to hell with that. Straight to. Don't pass go, don't collect $200. So yeah, this needs to be addressed. In any event, I guess somebody has some conversation with BlueFace and Chrisean because I see on the next episode, they're going to see Dr. Ish. I love Dr. Ish. I study Dr. Ish's career. He is the, I want to say psychologist or psychiatrist. I'm not sure. Or just therapist. I have to, look it up. But he's on Marriage Boot Camp. And some of his therapeutic tactics are wonderful. I love Dr. Ish's style of kind of handling couples. And I love the way he breaks down a lot of the mental health issues that accompany some of the behaviors of these folks who are trying to have steady and stable relationships. So I see they go visit him and he's just looking at them like, wait. But in any event, Dr. Ish, I can't wait till you pass the baton because sooner than later, Operation Heal 100 Hearts will be the cornerstone for the folks coming to get their mental health counseling on these reality shows. And I will be getting paid my big bucks to do so.